First surprise. Okay, you're familiar with our product line, how we've really focused our product line down to consumer products and pro products. Now, our consumer customers usually buy consumer products, but they like some of the pro products too. Our education customers buy both, and our pro customers usually buy the pro products, but they like IMAX too. And by focusing on a very, very simple product line, we can put the A team on everything. And we can innovate a lot more, and we can innovate a lot more frequently. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to announce a completely new family of desktop pro products. Now, our current pro product is the Power Mac G3. We announced it in November of 1997, 14 months ago. And it's been an incredible success for us. We've sold over 1.6 million of these Power Mac G3s. This product alone has been about 2% of the entire computer sales in this time period. And that's generated over $3 billion of revenue for Apple in that time period. It's an incredibly successful product. And today, we're going to go to the next generation. So what is that? We set out some goals for ourselves, 4 key goals for the next generation G3 product. The first one, we want to make not only the most powerful Macintosh ever built, but the most powerful PC in the entire industry. We want to give it the best graphics of the entire industry, and not just the 2D graphics that Apple's known for, but also 3D graphics. We want to make it the most expandable Macintosh ever, and, of course, we want the best design. So, let's see what we did. Take a look at our first goal, most powerful. The new 1999 G3s feature up to 400 megahertz G3 processors from both Motorola and Intel. And these are the first processors using copper technology that will ever be shipping in a product. So we are extremely happy. These things are speed demons, as we're going to show you in a minute. And we haven't just sped up the processors. We've sped up the caches, which are now running at 200 megahertz, and the memory buses, which are now running at 100 megahertz. So everything throughout the whole system has been sped up. So let's take a look at how fast that is. First of all, let's compare it against the fastest Pentium 2 money can buy, the 450 megahertz Pentium 2. And next, let's compare it against the product that we're replacing, the G3 from 1998. It came as fast as 333 megahertz. And, of course, the new one at 400 megahertz. So the Pentium 2, 5.6 byte marks. This is a measure of processor speed. 5.6 byte marks. The G3 from 1998, 11.3, and our new G3 breaking 13 byte marks. So we're very, very happy with this. But now, benchmarks are great, but sometimes they do or do not equate to real-life performance in a system. So I'd like to ask Phil Schiller to join me. Phil's our Vice President of Worldwide Product Marketing. There he is.
I see.
And we're going to show you some real-life performance. So, Phil, what do we got here?
Well, we've set you up with our brand new Power Mac G3, the machine we've worked so hard on, up on the screen on the left. And I'm going to use the fastest Pro compact money can buy. That's called the Desk Pro EN. It's got a Pentium 2 running at 450 megahertz. Lots of megahertz. And it's got the fastest Intel architecture for memory and PCI you can get on a personal computer.
All right. That sounds like a challenge.
If we can get the right screens up there. So there's my compact, and if they can bring up your Power Mac G3 on the left.
Oh, almost had it. There we go. Yay!
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Well, that was a speed test. Okay. So for our performance test, what we're going to use is Adobe Photoshop, one of the most powerful tools available in personal computing, used by our pro customers everywhere. One of the great things about Photoshop is that it's optimized for both the PowerPC and Pentium and MMX performance. In addition, we can take the same exact file, Now we have a file
How
here.
big is this file?
It's 25 megabytes.
Okay.
And it's not something we made up. It's something we got from one of our customers.
Great.
Real-world use of Adobe Photoshop. So let's bring up Photoshop on both
All right.
machines.
Here we go.
And we're going to run through the exact same file, a set of scripted actions, just as this artist used in creating a poster.
All righty. 25 megabyte Photoshop file.
Sure, would you like to count us
I'll
down?
count it down. 3, 2, 1, go. Phil, where are you there?
I'm coming. Just takes a second.
My God.
There we go. Now it's going through many of the same actions the artist did. Gaussian blurs,
Phil,
tracing pads.
Where's your horse, Phil?
It's coming. It's coming.
Where's your dragon, Phil?
Did I say this is the fastest Pentium 2 money can buy?
All right, we're done on the Macintosh. All right. Phil, that's hard to believe. I think that's hard to believe. I think we should.
I'm done.
You're done. Okay. Well, let's run this again. Now, let's revert. You know, Photoshop reverts, as you know.
Sure.
And so go ahead. Let's revert and.
Something that artists have to do every day.
Yep.
Make a change, revert your file.
At least we get some feedback on the Mac there, how we're doing.
I get a cute icon.
Okay, you ready to go again?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It takes me a little longer to revert. This is usually when I get coffee.
Maybe it's telling you to revert back to a Macintosh. Okay.
Can I have a second chance?
Yeah. Okay, let's go. On 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. I didn't push it.
Oh.
I'm going to let him have about 5 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to push it. Okay.
Looks like you're ahead again.
Yep. There's just no hiding the truth here.
Well, I said it was the fastest Pentium money can buy, not the fastest computer money can buy.
All right, here we go. Macintosh is done. Phil,
Thanks, Steve.
thank you very much.
Hello, Steve. That's a very fast computer you have there.
Yes, it is, Hal. It's actually very fast.
Steve, I hope you don't mind my saying, but I don't think it's nearly as fast as I am.
Well, actually, Hal, it's a very fast computer.
Then you won't mind if I conduct a brief test of my own?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Al.
Without Phil pressing any button. One moment, please. Running benchmarks on Power Mac G3. Running benchmarks on HAL 9000. Analyzing results. Steve, I'm detecting a malfunction in the AE36 unit. It reports that the Macintosh runs 114.516% faster than I do. I don't believe that's possible, Steve. I've just been upgraded to a 450 megahertz Pentium 2.
It's true, Hal.
Steve, I'm afraid I can't allow this presentation to continue. All members of the press should surrender their notes as they exit the auditorium. Life support systems will terminate in precisely 5 minutes.
Oh! Thank you, Phil.
That's what we think of Hal.
Okay, so as you see, the new Power Mac G3s are the most powerful Macs ever built and the most powerful PCs in the industry. Best graphics. We wanted not just the best 2D graphics performance, but the best 3D graphics performance as well. And to get the best 3D graphics performance, we needed hardware acceleration. Now, we've shipped hardware acceleration in our prior generation of products, and it's very good. It's faster than what most of our competitors ship. but it's not the fastest in the industry. And we looked around to what might be the fastest in the industry, and we made a bet many, many months ago on a new technology coming out that could propel us faster than anything in the PC marketplace, and that we would be the first to use. And that bet paid off, and we've built it in to every new Power Mac G3 model, built in as a standard feature, and that is the brand new ATI Rage 128 graphics accelerator. This thing is really, really fast, and it's in the Mac first and only. We've complemented it with 16 megabytes of graphics memory. Now, that's much more than you'd need for 2D graphics, and it's perfect for 3D graphics. So, let's take a look at how fast this thing is. Now, how do we measure speed? You know, a lot of our markets want 3D graphics, but the one that pushes it the most, the one that pushes it to its limits, not just the graphics, but the whole system, is games, right? Games push 3D to their limits, so they're a wonderful way to test 3D performance. And the way you can test it, of course, is to run games and measure the frames per second. Now, in the PC world, as I said, they don't ship such great 3D graphics in their systems. And so if you want great 3D graphics, you add in a card. And the most popular and the best card out there is the Voodoo 2 card. Costs about $200 that you can add into your PC. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the frames per second running Quake of 3 systems. One, the systems that we used to ship in the G3, the hardware acceleration, the Rage Pro. Quite respectable. Matter of fact, faster than most of the PCs ship with today. A Pentium 2 450 with a $200 Voodoo 2 card in it, and the new Power Mac G3s with Rage 128. The Rage Pro gets 36 frames per second on Quake. The Voodoo 2 card-enabled Pentium 2 450 gets 50 frames per second, and the Rage 128 tops them at 68 frames per second, built into every new Power Mac G3. So what I would like to do now is I'd like to show this to you. Phil? If I could have your assistance again. Okay. We have 2 systems here. Mine is the new Power Mac G3 running at 400 megahertz with the new Rage 128 built in.
So this time maybe I'll have a little better luck. I have the fastest consumer computer Compaq has to offer, a Presario, again with a Pentium 2 450, and we've added the gold standard in 3D, the Voodoo 2 card, to this Pentium.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is use one game, the same game on both machines, a brand new game, just started shipping in the last 30 days. It's called Dark Vengeance.
Sounds
Dark.
dark. Okay, let's...
Start them both up.
So again, we've got the Power Mac G3 on the left here, the Pentium 2 on the right.
Now we've got a scripted playthrough so that all we have to do is hit one key and go through the exact same sequence on both games so that we can be a really fair test and see whoever's the fastest frame rate will get done first.
All right.
Would you like to count us down?
Let me count us down. 3, 2, 1, go. Is done at 55 frames per second.
And the PC's done at 45 frames per second, so you bested me by 20% faster game performance.
Thank you, Phil.
Thanks, Steve.
So, Every new Power Mac G3, every single model, has 3D graphics that are now 20% faster than the fastest PC you can buy after you've added in a $200 3D add-in card, which is the gold standard in the PC world. We're really, really excited about this. Now, what about software? What should we use for our 3D graphics library? Well, we actually consulted with some of the people that really care about this, which are the gamers themselves. And we consulted with our other customers in our other markets. And what we heard loud and clear was there were a lot of choices out there, including some that Apple owns, but that the best way to go was OpenGL. And OpenGL is a graphics library invented by Silicon Graphics and promoted by Silicon Graphics. And we are very pleased to announce today that Apple has licensed OpenGL from Silicon Graphics and is going to join the family of OpenGL licensees in promoting this, and we are going to integrate OpenGL into the Mac OS in future releases and make it our standard 3D API platform for our developers. So it's my pleasure right now to introduce Rick Belluzzo, the chairman and CEO of Silicon Graphics. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Well, it's my absolute pleasure to be here at Macworld and to participate in this announcement that Steve just made. It's really spectacular. We are just so excited about having the opportunity to take OpenGL and move that into the Mac environment. It's a major statement for Apple. It's a major statement for SGI. And I commit to Steve and to all of Apple, to developers and to customers, that you have our full and complete support to making OpenGL the best graphics technology and capability to move the Mac into the 3D world in an aggressive way. It's going to work. We're going to do it together. It's also a statement today as to the new direction of SGI. 1 year ago, we announced a number of changes in our strategy and our direction, and one very important part of that was to take our technology and to take our innovation and move it into the mainstream of the marketplace, to support, in fact, to drive open standards. It's something that's very different for our company. We've had the reputation at times of developing great technology, great innovation in graphics, in media, in high-performance computing, a full range of areas, but holding those technologies towards the very high end of the marketplace. Well, that's all changed. SGI's direction now is about taking innovation, taking technology, making it relevant, making it mainstream, moving into new price points, making it more significant, making it more relevant. And this announcement is a very essential part of that strategy. And you'll see more of that. In fact, later this week, we will announce our award-winning flat panel in the Mac environment as well. We think the Mac environment is important, we think it's significant, and we want to take as much of our technology, partner with Apple, make it successful, and make our technologies more relevant and more mainstream. It's a fundamental, important part of our strategy. Well, OpenGL is the 3D graphics standard. And what you see here today in this announcement is part of the opportunity, the strategy to make this architecture work for high-performance games and innovative games, all the way up to powerful visual simulation. It's what you can do with OpenGL. We're fundamentally committed to that, and we welcome Apple into the OpenGL world. In fact, the addition of Apple's innovation and technology and experience will be a great advantage to the OpenGL world. And I think together with Apple and developers, we're going to be able to do some really cool things, introduce some really great products, some great technology, and we'll all benefit from it. It's a great announcement, and we're very excited about the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So we think that with the combination of the new Power Mac G3, with the incredible graphics acceleration from the Rage 128, and integrating OpenGL into the Mac OS, we're going to have an incredibly great 3D platform. We think we're going to have the best graphics in the industry. Most expandable. What are we going to do? The new Power Macintosh G3 holds up to 1 GB of memory. This one may shock you more. 100 GB of disk storage inside the package. 100 GB. The new Power Mac G3 can have up to 3 internal disk drives, and we are now in the high-end build-to-order configs going to be supplying them with IBM's new 36 GB drives for over 100 GB of storage inside the box. It's unprecedented. 4 slots. We are going to 4 slots and 64-bit PCI for 3 of them. The 4th slot runs at double speed for graphics. I/O ports. Our philosophy on I/O ports has 3 key components to it. The first is use industry standards. When we go to device manufacturers, we don't want to say, do something special in the hardware for Apple, because we'll always be 6 months behind. We want to go to them and say, you can build one piece of hardware and sell it on Macintoshes or in the PC market. Now, sometimes industry standards exist and we'll adopt them. Other times they don't, and we're going to have to create them, as we are now doing with FireWire. So a combination of existing and newly created industry standards are very important. Second, serial versus parallel. We come down on the side of high-speed serial interfaces. We're tired of these big, gigantic cables. We'd like our cable lengths to be longer. We'd like our connectors to be smaller. High-speed serial interfaces and plug and play. We don't want to have to be loading drivers. We don't want to have to be setting switches. We want to just plug it in and have it work. Well, the first port that meets that criteria is Ethernet. It's an industry standard, it's serial, and it's plug and play. And 100 megabit Ethernet is built onto the motherboard of all the new Power Mac G3s. And as a build-to-order option, we are supplying gigabit Ethernet with the new Power Mac G3s. The second I/O port that we've built into every new Power Mac G3 is Universal Serial Bus, the thing that Apple is now in a leadership position on from the iMac. Universal Serial Bus, USB for short, there's its symbol. And let's compare it to the old Mac serial ports. USB runs 30 times faster. USB can connect up to 127 devices instead of 2. It's hot pluggable, which means you don't have to turn the power off or risk frying your computer or your peripheral. Its drivers are dynamic. When you plug in a device, the drivers are automatically loaded. And it's an industry standard. So we are going 100% to USB in the new Power Mac G3s. And because of getting a head start with the iMac, the USB devices are powering up. At the end of last quarter, a few weeks ago, there were over 80 USB devices announced, and about 60 of them are shipping now. We have a whole section of our booth devoted to USB devices, and it's incredible the stuff that is now shipping. We believe that by the end of this quarter, by the end of March, there will be close to 100 USB devices shipping. And third, FireWire. Today, we are officially rolling out FireWire as part of our product line on the motherboard of every new Power Mac G3. Now, what is FireWire? What is FireWire? Think of FireWire as USB, but rather than running at 12 megabits per second, it's running at 400 megabits per second. And it's already an established industry standard. Now, where does all this come from? Well, we have to go back. We have to go back a dozen years to when Apple rolled out SCSI. It was a brilliant decision at that time to use one interface to connect to both internal disk drives and bring a connector out the back to connect to disk drives externally and other peripherals like scanners and other things. It was great. The problem was history has passed it by. Because SCSI is now, the SCSI that Apple builds in for the external port is way too slow. to serve internal disk drives. For internal disk drives in the new PowerMac G3s, we've built in the latest and greatest Ultra ATA. It's super fast to talk to disk drives. And at the high end, we offer an Ultra 2 SCSI card to talk to the highest end drives that our high-end publishing customers want. But none of that has anything to do with the SCSI that comes out the back of the product anymore. The technology has passed it by. So let's compare the two. Again, FireWire, rather than 80 megabits per second, it's 400 megabits per second. It's 5 times faster. Instead of 7 devices, you can hook up 63 devices. And unlike SCSI, any number of them can be computers, as we'll see in a minute. It's hot pluggable. You don't have to turn your computer off to connect and disconnect peripherals. You can just plug them right in. Again, the drivers are dynamically loaded. There are no terminators. And there are no switches. It just works. Now, if you really love these big cables, and if you really love that thing over there, which is a terminator, if you don't get that on, you'll get data corruption or it won't work at all. And if you really love switches, we will be glad to sell you a SCSI card for your new PowerMac G3. But if you don't want to futz with all that stuff, there's FireWire, built into every new system. Now, you can connect FireWire to a zillion things. First of all, there's the digital camcorders, of which there are now 4 million of in the world. All those digital camcorders have FireWire jacks on them. You can take that FireWire jack and plug it right into the back of your G3 and bring in digital video with pristine digital quality with no add-in boards, no extra expense. We think this is going to be a really big deal. So I'd like to just show you a few things about FireWire now, if that's okay. I've got a few FireWire devices over here. Here's a Nikon Pro camera. Right? This is what professionals use to get very high resolution imagery. FireWire jack right on the side. Here's another one. Canon's equivalent of that. FireWire jack right on the side. Here's a box that Sony makes and sells for $300. FireWire in, analog, audio, and video in and out. So if you want analog video in and out, buy one of these and hook it right up to FireWire. Works perfectly. Now let me show you some video. I've got a camera right here, and I've got 2 G3 computers up there, and I got a FireWire cable right here. And my FireWire cable is very simple. I can just plug these 2 things together, and it'll hook that camera into that G3. It takes about 3 seconds for the network to reconfigure itself, load all the drivers and everything. And so let me go ahead and just plug this in right now. Boom. And in a few seconds, I should see video up there. There I am. Hello, Mom. Okay. And I can unplug it, and it'll stop, and I can plug it back in, and in a few seconds, it should start again. Well, it should. There we go. Good. Now, FireWire is not just a point-to-point connection. It's a bus, and it's a really intelligent bus. So, I've got another cable here. See, there's 2 FireWire jacks on the back of every PowerMac G3. So one of them, for this G3, is going to the camera right now. The other one, I connected to another cable, which is connected to the FireWire port of a second G3. Because unlike SCSI, you can have any number of computers on your FireWire bus. And so when I plug this in, it'll take that same video signal and just send it to both G3s. Let's see if it works. It should take about a few seconds to reconfigure the net, and there we go. Voila. Right? I can unplug it here. I can unplug it, and I'm back up on the 1. I can plug it in, and there we go. So, FireWire, 400 megabits per second, digital video, multiple CPUs, plug and play, hot pluggable. Let me show you one other thing here. This is really cool. One of the things that people use SCSI for the most is sort of sneaker disk, if you will. They take outboard SCSI disk drives, hook them up to their computers, load giant files on them, take them across the office or across the city or across the country, plug them into another computer, and that's how they transfer very large files. I'm sure some of you do that. And these outboard SCSI drives have their little wall transformers and power supplies, and it's kind of a mess. Well, let me show you something really cool. This thing right here. This little thing is a 6 gigabyte drive, right? And it's got a FireWire port on it. Isn't that cool? It's by a company called VST. It's going to ship in March. Now, one other thing about FireWire I haven't mentioned. There's power on it from the computer. And so I can take a FireWire cable right here and plug it right into this disk drive without any external power supply on this thing other than what it's drawing from FireWire. And it'll automatically configure itself. And if everything works, it'll spin up. Yep, starting to spin up right now. And it should show us on the desktop. There it is right there. Okay? Now again, here's a QuickTime file, right? It's a cool little QuickTime movie coming right off this disk. Now, this is what this thing looks like in March. This is shipping in June. It's a ½ an inch thick, right? ½ an inch thick, fits in my pocket, 6 gig drive, FireWire ports out the back. So, FireWire is just going to explode. And it's going to be the high-end serial interconnection standard throughout the industry, and it's hot. Built in to every Power Mac G3. In addition, once you get video into your computer, and it's so easy now to get pristine digital video quality in through FireWire off a digital camera, you want to edit it. Now, we were using Adobe Premiere, which is a wonderful video editing program. Apple's got some cool technology, too, today, which is on display in our booth. It's called Final Cut. It's not a product yet, but it will be soon. You might want to go check it out. It's pretty neat. So, we think we've built the most expandable Mac ever. Up to 1 gigabyte of memory, 100 gigabytes of disk in the box, CD-ROMs, DVD drives, DVD RAM drives are shipping build to order, zip drives, 4 slots, including the first 64-bit PCI, Ethernet, 100 megabit built-in, up to 1 gigabit on build to order, up to 127 USB devices, and up to 63 FireWire devices. So we think we've built the most expandable Macintosh ever. Which brings us to best design. So, I'd love to show you what it looks like right now. Can we get it out here, please? The 1999 new Power Macintosh G3. It is really, really beautiful. It's got handles so you can pick it up. It's got all the removable storage in the front. It's built out of polycarbonate, which is the same stuff they use to make bulletproof vests out of. Like all of our products, we've tried to make it look as good in the back as it does from any other side. And it's really, really come out nice. It's more compact than the unit it replaces, and yet packs far more revolutionary technology inside. But there's one other thing. You see, design, we don't think design is just how it looks. We think design is how it works. And we labored a lot on this because our pro customers want accessibility. They know there's a lot of great technology inside, but they want access to that technology instantly, to add memory, to add cards, to add drives. And so we think we've got the most incredible access story in the business. And you know what it's called? Let's get the video up here. It's called a door. We just open this thing here, and there it is. Is that cool? That's it. Just open the door and there it is. There's a gigabyte of memory. There's the processor. There's the 3 disk drive bays right there. The 4 slots, all the removable drives. This thing even runs with the door open. It's totally accessible. And when you want to close it, you just button it up. And there's a lock on the back so that people you don't want inside can't get inside. The most remarkable access story ever, and we think our pro customers are going to really appreciate this. Thank you. Now, we wanted some great displays to match our new Power Mac G3 in both quality and aesthetics. And so I would like to present to you now 3 new Apple Studio displays that are perfect companions to the new Power Mac G3. We've got a 21-inch display that is the ultimate display for publishing. 21-inch Trinitron with full color calibration. We calibrate these at the factory with a $70,000 colorimeter, and there is magic circuitry inside this thing that monitors everything throughout the life of the display and adjusts it perfectly to keep it in perfect color calibration for the life of the display. It's incredible. It's a publishing dream. It is the most sophisticated display on the market today, $1,499. Second, what will probably be the mainstream display, 17-inch Tron display, phenomenal quality, phenomenal design, $499. And we've reskinned our 15-inch flat panel display with a new price of $1099. So these are our 3 new displays and our new Power Mac G3. So what I'd love to do now is, I have a little, yeah, oh, they're going to rotate for us. Thank you. So you can see what they look like from the sides. They're really nice. Again, we've really tried to clean up the cable mess. We've really tried to make them look great from any angle. So, our goals. How did we do? Number 1, the most powerful PC on the market, we think we've got it. The best graphics in the industry, we think we've got them. The most expandable Mac ever, we think we've done it. And the best design, we think we've done it. Now, we've also had a 5th goal, and that is to deliver an incredible value to our pro customers for this. And the product that this is replacing came in 2 versions, a desktop and a mini tower. The desktop cost $1599, the mini tower $1999. So we thought a lot about what we should price this at. It's got a lot more technology in it than what it's replacing. What should we price it at? And we decided to price it starting at $1599. We are pricing the mini tower, a complete mini tower system, at the same price as the prior desktop. We've got 4 models of this that range in price from $1599 to $2999. They're $1599, $1999, $2499, and $2999. The most loaded up system, standard system configuration we have is only $2999. So we have really focused on a lot of value engineering. The engineering team's done a phenomenal job, and so has the operations team, to bring these products to you at these very, very aggressive prices. And they are available starting today. So, we've made a video about the new Power Mac G3 that I'd love to show you now. So let's roll the video.
The look of love is in your eyes. your smile can't disguise.
We set out to make a computer just for our pro customers. From the ground up, we asked ourselves, what do they want? What do they want for performance? What do they want for expansion? What do they want for features and industrial design? What do they want for the whole system?
To try and design an object that elicits the reaction of, I really want that, is enormously fun.
I can hardly wait to hold you, feel my arms around you.
These machines are beautiful, but they kick ass. We're building the fastest machines in the PC industry. So we start with a 400 megahertz processor with a 1 meg backside cache, up to a gigabyte of high performance memory.
It supports the technologies that we've been trying to use for a long time now anyway. Fiber channel, 64-bit PCI bus, 66 megahertz PCI bus.
I have not seen any other machine, any other platform have that kind of performance.
If sex is power and the computer gives you power, there's lots of sex in these machines.
Gamers are looking for performance. Games today have realistic environments that are generated by tons and tons of polygons. So we need the most advanced machines out there to make the games look great.
The brand new ATI Rage 128. This is the fastest graphic accelerator available, and it's in the Macintosh first.
The Rage 128 hardware is among the best available anywhere. It delivers very good performance, extremely good quality. This platform will deliver several times better performance than anything that's been available on the Mac before.
With the new G3, we broke the laws of physics. We actually put more features, more expandability into a smaller box.
So we designed it so one flip of a lever and the whole door opens, you have full accessibility into the enclosure. To make it really easy to add memory, to make it really easy to add I/O cards. No special tools, it's all right there.
Handles to pick it up, a door to get inside. What a great thought, and it took Apple to do it.
The Professional is going to lust after the I/O capacity. The thing has got every go-fast technology that's on the market today.
Ultra ATA 33, Firewire, USB, 100 megabit Ethernet, all on the motherboard now.
If you want the future of I/O, it's USB and Firewire.
You don't have to worry about cable links, you don't have to worry about terminations, you don't have to worry about device select addresses. You just plug it in and it works.
I mean, 127 devices on USB, 63 devices on Firewire. And it's the easiest thing in the world. I just take this camera with a simple Firewire cable, I plug it into my Power Mac G3, and digitally take that video onto my computer, and bam, I'm editing video and I'm on my way.
It's got to be utterly compelling performance in terms of raw speed and power, but also these have to be objects that are totally seductive.
We designed a new family of Apple Studio displays to go along with the new G3.
There's a 21-inch monitor that's the dream publisher's monitor. Trinitron, color management with digital color calibration, USB hub for peripherals. A 17-inch monitor that's the best quality in the business, and still very affordable.
And the award-winning 15-inch Apple Studio display.
The stands float the displays, they put air underneath, they make them appear lighter.
Rock solid and crisp and sharp, and you're just in love. We had to make a powerful machine. We had to give customers tremendous features. We had to make it gorgeous. We also had to make it really affordable.
When customers see the new technology and they see the new design, they're going to be all over these machines.
They're going to see this thing, they're going to go nuts. They're going to want it.
Building the fastest machines in the industry is great. So it's what drives us.
We're putting them right into production.
It is gorgeous.
That's right. Now we don't have to hide the computer anymore.
A computer absolutely can be sexy. I mean, it's yeah, it can.
I can hardly wait to hold you, feel my arms around you. How long I have waited just to love you. Now that I have found you, don't ever go, don't ever go, don't ever go, don't ever go.
If you're interested, I brought along, there's 2 television commercials we're going to run on the new Power Mac G3, and I'll show them to you if you'd like. You want to see them? Okay. Now, they both got the same video, but there's just different messages in each one. So let me roll them both for you. I'd like to see which one you like better. Let's go ahead and run Secret Door and Open-Minded.
You can wait until year's end to cross the bridge to the 21st century. Or you can cross over now through a secret side door. Presenting the all-new Power Macintosh G3. It's not only the world's most powerful personal computer. It's also the most open-minded. Presenting the all-new Power Macintosh G3.
So, which one did you like better? Okay. Clapathon, clapathon. First one, clap, please. Okay. Second one, clap. Okay, thank you. So, the new Power Macintosh G3. We've been laboring on this for a long time, and we are so happy with how it came out. We've got a bunch of them in the booth, and please go check them out. And that was the first surprise for today. Okay.